Crazy week in the Big 12. West Virginia, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, and Baylor all stay hot. Kansas and Texas cooled down considerably. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I do videos every single day, sometimes college football and sometimes college basketball. And the best way to support this channel and get more of my content, hit the subscribe button. It's been a crazy week in the Big 12 this week. Baylor, Texas Tech, West Virginia, and Oklahoma had good weeks. Kansas and Texas did not. Texas was on fire at one time, but it seems like ever since Shaka Smart had to quarantine for COVID, they have gone downhill considerably. I expect them to drop well out of the top 10, possibly the top 15. Kansas will be not ranked for the first time in over a decade. Think about that. Here are the standings in the Big 12. First place, of course, we know, number 2 Baylor. They're 9-0 in conference and 17-0 overall. Number 2 is West Virginia. Yeah, West Virginia is number 2 in the Big 12. They're 6-3 in the Big 12 and 13-5 overall. Number 3 is going to be number 9, Oklahoma. They're 7-4 in the Big 12 and 12-5 overall. Number 4 is going to be Texas Tech. They're 6-4 in the Big 12 and 14-5 overall. West Virginia has to go to Lubbock tomorrow on Tuesday to play the Red Raiders. Big game. Then we have two teams in 5th place. The first one, number 6 Texas, they're 5-4 in the Big 12 and 11-5 overall. Right there with them is number 23 at the moment, Kansas. They'll be non-ranked here shortly. They're 6-5 in the Big 12 and 12-7 overall. That's not good. 7th is going to be Oklahoma State. They're 5-5 in the Big 12, 12-5 overall. I expect them to actually get ranked this week. 8th in the Big 12, TCU. They're 3-5, 10-7 overall. 9th in the Big 12, Kansas State 1-10. 4-10 overall. And dead last, Iowa State, 0-8 in the Big 12, 2-11 overall. But let me tell you something, Iowa State scares people on a game-by-game basis. Don't let that record fool you. Iowa State is a dangerous team. If you don't come and play with your A game, you could get upset. My team, West Virginia, had a really good week. We got past Iowa State on the road, barely, and then we come home and beat Kansas soundly. The final score was 91-79, and really, the game was never in doubt. Even if you follow the FPI percentage tracker on chances of a particular team winning at any point in the game, West Virginia always had the advantage. The crazy thing is, the starters for Kansas all scored in double digits. Garrett had 18, McCormick 17, Wilson 16, Abahi 13, and Braun 11. The problem? Their bench. They get no support from their bench. Only 4 points from their bench. West Virginia had 3 players that exploded on Kansas. The first one, Derek Culver, 19 points. Then Taz Sherman, 25 points. And then Miles McBride, 29 points. West Virginia shot 50% from the field. Think of that. That means every 2 shots that they threw up, they at least made 1 of them. They shot even better from three-point land, 52%. That's crazy. That's the 3rd time in 8 games that West Virginia has made at least 10 3-pointers. They didn't do that one single time last year. At the start of the season, West Virginia was going to be known for their post play, rebounding, and their size down low. Well, Oscar Tshiebwe left, so we had to transition to a perimeter shooting team. Let me tell you something, the transition has been really, really good. This is the first time that I've seen a Bob Huggins team actually shoot the ball really, really well. It's nice to see. Kansas has lost 5 of their last 7 games. All 5 of them were on the road. They lost at Oklahoma State, at Baylor, at Oklahoma, at Tennessee, and at West Virginia. Their only 2 wins were a home win against TCU and a home win against Kansas State. They will drop out of the top 25 for the first time in over a decade. For West Virginia, they have won 4 of their last 5, beating Kansas State, Texas Tech, Iowa State, and Kansas. Their only loss was a head-scratcher to Florida. Still can't figure that one out. But this was a pretty big win for West Virginia because it was the start of a tough stretch. So it's a good start. I was kind of fearful after that loss to Florida because I knew this stretch was coming. But beating Kansas is a good start. But our next game on the road in Lubbock to take on Texas Tech. After that, we come back home, play Oklahoma, then another home game against Baylor, and then we have to go on the road to play Baylor. So that's back-to-back games against Baylor. In Texas, in the last 2 games, maybe a little bit of a breather against TCU and Kansas State. So these next 5 games will determine West Virginia's seed in the NCAA tournament. Right now, I believe that they are a top 4 seed. If they can get through this stretch, 3-2 or 2-3 at the worst, we'll be in good shape. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.